Good morning everyone. I am Michael Cristel Arienza and I am the discussant for today. So for today's lesson, we are going to tackle the approaches to curriculum design. But before that, here are our lesson objectives. So at the end of the lesson, students should be able to first, identify some familiar curriculum designs and approaches to the design. Second is analyze the approaches in the light of how these are applied in the school. Now let's proceed to problem-centered design. This is the continuation of Ms. Shina's report. Generally, problem-centered design draws on social problems, needs, interests, and abilities of the learners. These are those that center life situation, contemporary life problems, areas of living, and many others. In this curriculum, content cuts across the subject boundaries and must be based on the needs, concerns, and abilities of the students. We have two examples here, the life situation design and the core problem design. So in life situation design, according to Herbert Spencer, it uses the past and present experiences of the learners as means to analyze the basic areas of living. The connection of subject matter to real situations increases the relevance of the curriculum. Instead of just learning from textbooks, we use things we've already experienced both in the past and what's happening right now. So we start by thinking about the problems that are important to our community and the things that worry us as students. We connect what we learn in class to real situations and problems, so it makes more sense and feels more important. So example is, instead of reading about pollution in a textbook, we can use our own experiences. Maybe we remember a time when a river near our town was polluted and we saw the effects on the fish and wildlife. We might be worried about the amount of plastic waste we see around our community. Then we can connect this to what we're learning in class. We can research how pollution affects the environment, discuss ways to reduce our plastic waste, and even plan a community cleanup. Now, in core problem design, this is according to Fons and Bossing. It centers on general education and the problems are based on the common human activities. So the central focus of the core design includes common needs, problems, concerns on learners. So we'll learn about things that are important for all of us, like how to communicate, solve problems, and think critically. We'll look at the problems that come up in our daily lives, like how to get along with others, how to take care of ourselves and the environment, and how to make good decisions. The most important part of learning is figuring out what we need to know and what problems we want to solve. So imagine, we're learning about communication skills. So instead of studying grammar rules, we can focus on real life situations. We might discuss how to have a respectful conversation with someone who has a different opinion than us. So we might learn how to give a clear presentation in front of our classmates, or how to write a persuasive letter to a local leader. This way, learning about communication becomes more relevant and practical because we're applying it to situations we encounter every day. So now let's proceed to the approaches to curriculum design. So first is the child or learner-centered design. As what me and Sheena have discussed, the learner is the center of education process. So how should a child-centered curriculum be approached? Let us consider these principles. So first is acknowledge and respect the fundamental rights of the child. So it is very important to respect everyone's right, especially the young learners. It is because, as we all know, young learners are very sensitive and vulnerable. Second, make all activities revolve around the overall development of the learner. Yes, the main goal is for the development of the learner. Therefore, all the activities that the teacher will prepare will be inclined to the development of the learners. Third is consider the uniqueness of every learner in a multicultural classroom, of course. As a teacher, we should consider every child's uniqueness because, as we all know, a multicultural classroom doesn't only involve one culture but a diverse one. So we should expect they are different from one another because we can't deny the fact that no one is alike. So fourth is consider using differentiated instruction or teaching. It is very essential for as a teacher to consider the use of different instructions because what I have mentioned earlier, we have a multicultural classroom, which means our learners are diverse. Learners inside the classroom has different levels of intelligences. So last is provide a motivating, supportive learning environment for all the learner. This is very important as what we observe of that the learning environment of the learners is well organized and pleasant to the eyes, then the learners will be motivated to learn. Here is the illustrated example of child or learner-centered design. School X is anchored on the theory of multiple intelligences in all its curricular and co-curricular activities. Every classroom provides activity centers where children can learn on their own with different learning resource materials. Learners can just choose which learning center to engage in with different resources. This arrangement allows for the capacity of every learner to be honed. It also allows learners how to learn, hence with the develop independence. The teacher acts as guide for every learner and the learner sets the goal that can be done within the frame of time. So next is the subject-centered design. So this is a curriculum design that focuses on the content of the curriculum. So this is anchored to on the curriculum design, which prescribes separate distinct subjects for every educational level. So basic education and higher education or the vocational technical education. So this approach considers the following principles. First is the primary focus is the subject matter. So of course, teachers' knowledge of the subject matter is essential to the implementation of the teaching task. So interaction between the teachers and the students is the most important factor in the students' motivation involvement. Second is the emphasis is on bits and pieces of information which may be detached from life. Third is the subject matter serves as the means of identifying problems of living, and so fourth is learning means accumulation of content or knowledge. So according to Kirill Korshikov, never stop learning because life never stop teaching. So as they say, learning is a never-ending journey. Indeed, because learning new things represent the growth mindset. So last is teacher's role is to dispense the content. So the ultimate role of the teacher is to share or impart his or her knowledge and motivate the learners. So here is the illustrated example of subject-centered approach. So in another setting, School Y aims to produce the best graduates in school district. So every learner must excel in academic subjects to be on top of every 43 competitions that the higher level of cognitive intelligence is, the better the learner. So hence the focus of the learning is a mastery of subject matter in terms of content. Every student is expected to be always on top in terms of mastery of discipline, memorization, and drill are important learning skills. So the school gives emphasis to intellectual development and set aside emotional, psychomotor, and even value development. Success means mastery of the content. So the last is the problem-centered approach. So this approach is based on the design which assumes that in the process of living, children experience problems. So thus, problem solving enables the learners to become increasingly able to achieve complete or total development as individuals. So this approach is characterized by the following views and beliefs. So first is, the dreamers are capable of directing and guiding themselves in resolving problems, thus developing every learner to be independent. So second is, the learners are prepared to assume their civic responsibilities through direct participation in different activities. Third is, the curriculum leads the learners in the recognition of concerns and problem in seeking solutions. So learners are problem solvers themselves. Here is the illustrated example of a problem centered approach. So, School Z believes that a learner should be trained to solve real life problems that come about because of the needs, interests, and abilities of the learners. So, problems persistent in life and society that affect daily living are also considered. Most of the school activities revolve around finding solutions to problems like poverty, drug problems, climate change, natural calamities, and many more. So, since the school is using a problem based design, the same approach is used. Case study and practical work are teaching strategies that are utilized. Problem centered approach has become popular in many schools. So that would be all for our lesson for today. So I hope you have learned something. Thank you and goodbye.